Hi, I'm Jerimiah from Overland Pioneers, and for the last 8 years we've been traveling the country, everything from Newfoundland, Canada to the Salt Flats and everywhere in between. And when we're not on the road, we're here. This is Gray Force Garage, our man cave slash bourbon bar slash install and product review bay. And this is going to be a series out of here where we show off the products like our land moto, our trailer that we use, and every little piece of gear that we go through to show you guys what we use and how we use it on our big travels. So put your seat back, grab one of your favorite drinks, and join us on this series.
This episode's going to be a little bit different. This one is 10 or Less, a cooking show showing you guys how to use 10 ingredients or less, but using higher quality ingredients to make an awesome camp meal. We'll be using our slide-out galley kitchen from our X-Venture trailer to be cooking these, but any camp stove will do. So take notes, buy some ingredients, get out there, and go camping. We hope you enjoy where you eat.
This is Jeremiah with 10 or Less, where we use 10 items or less, but use higher quality ingredients to have an overall better overland camping meal. We are making smash dogs with brie and jam.
For this recipe, you'll need jumbo or large all-beef franks, the higher quality the better, large pretzel buns, unsalted butter, brie cheese and coarse salt, and if you can find a local jam, that'd be great. Let's get started. First, let's get that high heat going underneath our pan. With our unsalted butter, heavily coat the pan. Next, separate the two halves of the pretzel bun and toast the insides of the pretzel bun with the butter that we laid down. Cook all of your buns at one time and set aside. Next, the fun part. Underneath your spatula or between two plates, squish those dogs down. First thing you notice when cooking these, the juices are coming out of these franks. All that grease will help sear these things. While those are frying up, cut off the rear rind of the brie cheese and cut it into small slices. Look how juicy those things are looking. Time to assemble our smash dog sandwich. First the dog, then the brie, followed by a healthy amount of the jam you choose. For an extra layer, find you some spicy jalapeno or bacon jam. Throw on a bunch of coarse salt, and this delicious, savory, salty, crunchy thing of beauty is done. Until next time, enjoy where you eat.
Hey, this is Jeremiah with 10 or Less, where we make great camp meals using 10 items or less, but higher quality food. Today's cooking location is up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Right behind us is Lake Superior. We're going to be making garlic confit with goat cheese and ham on baguette. You can use any kind of ham. We are using jambon ham, which is a French ham.
For this recipe, you'll need 4 full garlic cloves, goat cheese, high quality ham, salted or jambon ham, 1 full baguette, extra virgin olive oil, and coarse salt. You also may want to have a thermometer. Let's get started. First, we need to peel our garlic cloves. A quick tip for this is put them in a mason jar or hard container and shake vigorously for 15 to 30 seconds. This gets it most of the way done.
Sometimes you've got to peel garlic in the truck because there's a freak storm about to pop up over Lake Superior.
Now that our garlic is peeled, let's put it in a medium to large saucepan or pot and pour in just enough olive oil to cover the garlic. We're going to cook our garlic for 45 minutes to an hour. The key to this is to keep it on a simmer so we do not boil or overcook the garlic. You want the oil to come up to around 200 to 210 degrees. If you need to pull the pot off occasionally to cool it back down, you can do so, or you can set your pot on top of another pan to disperse the heat even more. After about 45 minutes, your garlic will start to look a little glassy. Lightly bubbling is what you're looking for. Be careful when stirring near the end because they do get soft. Slowly and gently pour the hot oil and garlic into a container. Set your garlic and oil into a fridge or cooler to cool down just a little while we cut the baguette. Cut your baguette into diagonal thin long pieces. Get out your garlic and oil from your cooler or refrigerator. We're going to use that garlic-infused oil to cook and crisp up your bread. Plate your goat cheese. Finely shred up your ham. Let's assemble the meal. First the baguette, then the garlic. And when we say this garlic is spreadable, it is like butter. Put a thick coat of garlic as a base. Next is a decent amount of ham, then some goat cheese. This stuff is rich, so try a little first and then add more if you like it. Then top with a decent amount of coarse salt. Time to eat. This meal is proven to tame even the hangriest spouse. This meal fed 4 of us to the brim. Until next time, enjoy where you eat.
So today we're going to be preparing meals where we focus on how you can have less ingredients that are higher quality and have a better experience while you're off-road. Hi, I'm Tim Horst. We are doing 10 ingredients or less. Today we are doing seared sirloin with asparagus and a compound butter. So first off, we're preheating our griddle because we're searing our steak, so we're preheating it under a medium to high heat. We're going to do this before we put the steaks on. We want to make sure that the griddle is nice and hot so we get a good sear. So we're going to check how hot our griddle is by seeing how well water dances on top of it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to apply a little extra virgin olive oil to our steaks and then season them with salt and freshly ground pepper. So we're going to cook these to about 4 minutes on this side, and we're going to flip them. What we're looking for is a nice sear on that one side because what we do not want to do is have to keep flipping them over and over again. So we're going to give it the majority of the time, the first time on this side. Adding oil to the griddle because what we're going to do is we're going to sear our asparagus on here. Okay, we're flipping our steaks to make sure we get a nice even sear and crust on them. We're just looking to ultimately just turn these one time. So what we're going to be doing is testing for doneness here. Classic way to test for doneness is on the back of your hand when you clench your fist and push on the webbing between your thumb and your forefinger here. You will get a classic medium rare feel to it. So by touching here and then touching here, if they feel similar, you're very close. So after we pull the steaks off, we're gonna let them rest for about 3 minutes so that we even out the heat throughout the steak. And I'm keeping the asparagus warm and reheating the parts that were previously cooked inside the juices that the steaks were cooking in. Okay, what we've got here is a classic compound butter. So I've taken unsalted butter, 2 sticks, and I've softened them and mixed them with fresh thyme, garlic, and salt and pepper. Formed it into a tube again and then put it in the fridge so it hardens up. So we can then cut into discs and place them on top of the steaks.
This is Jerimiah with 10 or Less, where we use 10 items or less, but use higher quality ingredients to have an overall better overland camping meal.
This time, we're cooking backcountry carbonara. This is a great meal to feed a lot of people with not a lot of ingredients. First, your choice of ramen noodles. Some large eggs. Next, hard classic Parmesan cheese. Black pepper. And lastly, some good old thick cut bacon. First, leave the bacon stacked and cut it into small chunks. Let's preheat a skillet and start boiling our water. Let's start frying up about 2 slices worth of bacon. Now that we've rendered out some grease, let's drop the temperature and push everything to the side. Now we'll separate the egg yolk from the egg whites by tossing the egg yolk back and forth between the 2 shell halves. We only need the egg yolk. Add a hefty amount of our hard Parmesan cheese to the egg yolk. Bringing our water to a boil, add 1 pack of ramen noodles. We're not going to be using the sauce packet, so set that aside. And we're also not going to break up the noodles before we put it in the pot. We're going to keep the noodles moving around just until they start to break up and get soft. Turn your pan heat back to medium, and we're going to add the soft noodles to the bacon and bacon grease. We're also going to add, per serving, 1/2 cup of the noodle water, along with our 1 egg yolk and Parmesan cheese. Keep mixing so nothing sticks to the bottom. Once all the cheese and everything is melted together, it's ready to plate. Add a hefty amount of black pepper and serve. Again, this is great if you have to cook for a lot of people. Thanks for watching, and remember, enjoy where you eat.
Hi, I'm Tim Horst, and welcome to 10 or Less, where the focus is using less ingredients, but higher quality ingredients. And today, we're doing carne asada tacos.
First, let's go over the ingredients that go into the marinade. You will need diced garlic, orange juice with the pulp, diced jalapenos, real soy sauce, real lime juice, and fresh cilantro. First, 2 heaping spoons of diced garlic, the same with the diced jalapenos, 1/2 cup of the orange juice, 1/4 cup of the real lime juice, 1/4 cup of the soy sauce, and a handful of diced cilantro, and 1 pound of thinly sliced flank steak. Put all of these ingredients into the bag, seal it up, and give her a good shake. Press all of the air out of the bag, seal it on up, throw it in your fridge. Best part about making these on the trail is while you're out trail riding, the bag gets shaken up and the marinade gets all over every piece of the meat.
I've got the meat here. It's been in the fridge in the back of the truck marinating all day. Marinade is a mixture of citrus juices, and what that does is it breaks down the fibers and the proteins in the meat, and it takes an otherwise toughish piece of meat and it makes it much softer and easier to chew and enjoy. All right, so we've heated up our griddle, and so while it's getting nice and hot, we're gonna come over here and chop up some onions and cilantro. So we're gonna start off by chopping our onion nice and small. So we're gonna cut off the end, slice it in half, peel the second skin off of it. You notice we keep the root end on there. That way it holds it together while we're working on it. Because we're gonna make a series of horizontal slices and then a series of vertical slices, and then we'll cut in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice both of these first. As I'm doing this, I'm running the knife on the front of my fingernails to help guide it. Now I'm gonna slice down this way. You can see we have nice squares of onion. All right, so now that our griddle is nice and hot, it is smoking hot over here. I'm gonna take the meat out of the marinade, lay it down on the griddle or plancha, let it caramelize really well on one side, and then flip it. These are sliced nice and thin. They're gonna go real quick. So we got a nice good sear on these now, so I'm gonna start flipping them over. They're nice and brown. All right, so these look like they're really good, so we're gonna take them and put them over here on our cutting board. So we're gonna let these rest just a little bit while they're over here, just to relax some of the muscle fibers so the juices expand to the outside a little bit. What happens when you're cooking things, it tends to pull juices and such to the center of the meat, and then as it rests, it relaxes the muscle fibers and lets it go back out to the outside again. While the meat's resting, we're gonna warm up some of our tortillas to get them a little more pliable. Okay, so we're gonna slice our meat. Now we're gonna slice the meat against the grain. So you notice the lines of the grain run this way. So I'm gonna slice this way against it. What this will do is it'll cut through the fibers and make the meat much easier to chew. All right, so we've got two little taco shells here, so soft taco shells, I might note. So we're gonna just make a couple of tacos. Now this is completely and utterly up to everybody's individual taste on how we like to do this. But let's start off by taking a couple of these pieces. We'll just set them down right in the middle, nice and juicy. We'll take a little bit of cilantro. We'll take a little bit of onion. And the best part is this stuff. Everybody loves queso fresco. And the best part of this cheese is that it's just the crumbly texture. You can just crumble it right over the top and you're good to go.
Hey, this is Jeremiah with 10 or Less, where we show you how to make amazing camp meals using 10 items or less, but focus on higher quality ingredients so you don't have to bring the whole kitchen with you, but still have a great camp meal. Today, we're in Gray Forest Garage, our home studio, hanging out with some good friends.
On the menu this time, Brussels and taters with bacon, goat cheese, and a homemade balsamic glaze. Helping us cook this meal is our buddy Brent, a local distiller in Kentucky. Let's go over the ingredients you'll need for this recipe. First, you'll need some Brussels sprouts. Second, petite gold potatoes. Some thick-cut bacon of your choice. And some high-quality goat cheese. We're going to try it with a few different types. Some salt and pepper. And some balsamic vinegar. The higher the quality, the better. 1 bag of Brussels sprouts and 1 bag of potatoes should feed 4 people pretty good. Let's get this thing started. First, we're going to make our homemade balsamic glaze. This is a really straightforward and easy process. Pour at least 16 ounces, 2 cups, into a small pot or pan. We need to bring it up just to a boil and bring it back down to a simmer. We want to let this reduce and cook off to about 25% of its original volume, so you need about 4 ounces left over after it's done. Once down to 25%, take it off the heat and let it cool to room temperature. Next, we're going to start with the bacon. We're going to cut the bacon into 1/2 inch to inch wide chunks, leaving it all together for easier cutting. Let's put all that bacon on a cooktop or large pan. The goal is to render all of the bacon grease off. Roll that beautiful bacon footage. Don't forget to hydrate during this process. After we've cooked our bacon pretty crispy, remove and set aside. Next are our Brussels sprouts. This one's pretty simple. We're just going to cut all of them in half. And with our petite gold potatoes, we're going to cut those into small slices. Time to cook it all up. On medium to high heat, throw all of your ingredients right on top of that bacon grease. Season heavily with the salt and pepper. After about 10 to 15 minutes, you'll get a nice dark char, and the potatoes should be nice and fried, and it's time to take them off. Now that the glaze is cooled and thickened up a little bit, we're going to pour it over our big bowl of goodness and mix it together. Put a nice heaping amount on a plate. Put some big old chunks of goat cheese on there. And lastly, a hefty amount of our bacon. Serve it up to your friends. We also tried it with some wild blueberry lemon thyme goat cheese, and that's a big ol' highly recommend. Thanks for watching, and remember to enjoy where you eat.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.